Is Nene Leakes returning to the Real Housewife of Atlanta? We have some answers from Andy Cohen himself and everything that is happening with the franchise, with the show specifically right now. And I think we definitely need to talk about it. But before we start, welcome back. I'm the real Andy of Beverly Hills. Welcome to another piece of tea. If you are new here, welcome to Really Troop, where I keep it real and I mention it all. So make sure to subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And girl, let's talk about this mess. All right, so. There was a photo shoot, from Vulture, and they brought all of the a bunch of reality stars who are supposed to be iconic, who are supposed to be amazing, blah blah blah. A lot of the Bravo celebrities were there. Lindsay Hubbard was there. Of course, Andy Cohen was there. Brooke Marks was there. There was a lot, and there are from all kind of reality TV, people were in there. One of these people were also Nene Leakes, right? And they definitely have a lot of fun. Oh, Stacey Rush from Potomac was there as well. It was just a lot of people, a lot of reality TV people. But anyways, Andy Cohen, they did a little interview on him, and they were definitely asking the question that we wanted to hear, On one side, they asked him about why Bravo and NBC, was or decided to work with Nene Leakes again, to bring her to Real Housewives of Baltimore Girls Trip, right? And giving the lawsuit, and they literally asked him hey, Nene Leakes, she sued you and the network, so how is this now playing a part into bringing her back, and into working with her again, especially for Baltimore Girls Trip, right? To which Andy Cohen, that he's going to keep it very close to his heart. I don't think he's never going to be really messy about it, but he definitely says that even though he cannot talk personally about the lawsuit, and what the lawsuit actually involved, he definitely says that is all part in the past. And he says, Nene Leakes was very important part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. We will not have a Real Housewives of Atlanta if it was not because of Nene Leakes. So it was just a given. How are we going to celebrate 20 years of the Real Housewives franchise and not have one of the most iconic housewives that have ever existed? The power of Nene Leakes has always been undeniable. Her one-liners, her taglines, her moments on the show and outside of the show, everything that she has done has been very impactful for the Bravo community. So how are we not going to celebrate 20 years of Real Housewives and not having her there, right? So Andy Cohen definitely, I think it shows such a big grow, right? And it shows how you are willing to do what is right for the people who are actually building this, which are the fans. Without the fans, none of this will be possible at the end of the day, right? So I think the fact that they were that Bravo in itself, that NBC in itself was able to say, fuck it, we need Nene Leakes here, bring her back, let's move past this, sour past. It shows such a different way, it's such a different face, and I'm really happy that they did that. Now, when it comes to, and they ask Andy Cohen, does this open the door for Nene Leakes potentially return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Now, Andy Cohen gives an answer, and I think that answer might not be 100% real, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. His answer was basically saying that that they have been working so long to create a group on Atlanta that it makes sense, that that it is like as iconic as the original Atlanta used to be, right? And that they are like definitely just spending their time into creating that group, which basically, if you read it very fast, is basically kind of saying like, yeah, we are definitely gonna pass on working with Nene on Atlanta, because we are doing just this new Atlanta, and we just don't want to like fall into like this nostalgia of what Nene used to be, and what if she doesn't deliver, and what if it become a mess, and of course there is the trauma of the lawsuit, and all of that, So I think that's what they really are trying to say, but they don't really want to say. However, I believe that at the end of the day, Bravo will do what is best for them. When they fire Vicky Gunvalson from Orange County, and the fans went crazy, and they really tried to push through into like, no, we can make Orange County happening without Vicky. It took a long time to really found their footing again. Orange County spent some time being like, oh, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Eventually kind of like get there, but it was definitely never the same as it used to be. To the point that now they were forced to bring Vicky back. I mean, they have the perfect excuse because it's the 20th, anniversary of Orange County, so it kind of like makes sense to have the iconic Vicky Gunvalson, on the show. But still, more than that, it's kind of like, okay, we need this force. We need all of the fans that we can get, and Vicky Gunvalson is gonna bring us that fans, that viewership. I think the same will happen in Atlanta. Atlanta is going into their, I wanna say 15th season, 16th season, I don't know. So I believe that when the time is right, when when the moment is right, they are never gonna say no to bring Nene Leakes back, because they know that will just catapult the show, right? The show is becoming again iconic. This season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is giving so much. Especially last episode, I think we finally saw like a historic moment happening when Angela Oakley went toe-to-toe with Pinky. And the way that Angela was reading for filth Pinky, it was insane. Like that, like, okay, Mr. Clean, don't do that, Papa Smurf. I was like, damn. Like I was like, this is, because you can see it on the faces of the other ladies. You can see it on Portia's face, on Phaedra's face, on Drew's face, being like, wow, okay, this is going to be good. Finally, we're getting there, and I think they're doing such a good job. The problem with Nene Leakes is that she knows that she's wanted, and I think it could be problematic if she doesn't humble herself to do what it needs to be done, and if she thinks that she's just going to be better than anyone returning to Atlanta. So, because that was the way that Nene was behaving the last couple of her seasons. Like the fame just went through her head, completely, and she just thought that she was better than everyone, right? And it was not working at the end for Nene. That's why what happened, right? So I don't know. I mean, maybe Andy's right. Maybe like we are getting to a point that we are finally getting a good group. I will say Nene Leakes, somehow should have to be reintroduced. Like maybe not as a full housewife. Maybe she should start like doing some cameos, or them being like a friend of the show, and like really building that momentum again, rather than just push her down our throats and being like, well, Nene Leakes is back, everyone else take a seat. Because also it's going to be very maybe frustrating, and also like very scary for the other ladies to try to live up to the expectation of going toe to toe against Nene Leakes. You know what I mean? So anyways, let me know what you guys think on the comments below. And if you want to get all the tea related to the Real Housewife of Atlanta or any of the other Bravo shows, make sure to like this video, share this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you around. See ya. Bye.